Hi, so I'm going to do an overview of the 2021-2022 school year. So I'm going to start off by just doing the calendar or yearly calendar. Of course, everything that was colored is something that we did. We had school that day. I did year-round schooling, so we began in June last year. And then, okay. So we kind of technically are still going through school. I don't think it's ever going to stop, but because everything is a learning experience. But just to keep it official, that's what we've done. Okay, so first I want to start off by showing you the boards. I know I did this last year, but we did use these boards again with the months and the days of the week, the weather, the math, number line, and then of course the calendar. I had her mark off every day on the calendar that she had school. So that was one of the boards that we did, and then I also created another board this year, and this was our chore chart where she had some chores that she had to do as well as assignments that she had to do throughout the week or whenever. So just to help her remember when she had to do things on certain days. Okay, so I'm going to start off with English. So every day she did a journal, and this is her journal for this year. She did her own journal entry starting on the 23rd of August. It would just be simple topics like this one was, what is your favorite time of the day? And she said, my favorite time of the day is school because you get to learn things or learn different things. So I wish you could see just how her spelling was. It was very, it's hard to see, but it's improved dramatically, like dramatically, not dramatically, but it's definitely improved over the year, which is awesome. So yeah, anyway, they got to the point where she would actually make up her own journal entry. So whatever she wanted to write about, she would ask herself, like, what question do I want to ask or what do I want to write about today? And she made up her own response, answers or questions and responses. So let's see, I can put that right here. Okay, so then also she for reading, we did do. I'll show you some of the reading, but we did do so a lot of these paperworks, like a lot of these, of just talking about what the title is, the author, character, setting, beginning, middle, and end. So you see, it started off as a drawing. So her first one, excuse me, was a drawing, and then it improved. Let me see. So it went from a drawing to a drawing with some words to her just writing. And then it got to the point where, I don't know, I have an example somewhere, where she would write so much that it couldn't fit in the box anymore. I think that was just it. Let's see. Kind of. But yeah, she would write so much that she would have to write down here, like one of her last ones, she had it words all here. I'm just like, okay, you need a bigger piece of paper. So that was that for reading. Okay, and she also did reading comprehension, where she would have to read the passage and then answer. Let me just take this out. Okay, and then answer some questions. So she did a few of these as well. And then, of course, her passages got larger. As well as the questions. So we did, with the reading that we did, let me show you an example. With the reading that we did, I did a lot of comparing and contrasting. So she would take two books. I would have her, fill out these sheets like normal, and then I would have her compare and contrast, what's similar and what's different. So we did a couple of those just so that she could, get used to being more aware and comparing and contrasting. Okay, so we did different types of writing. I'll make sure I'm on. Oh, one more thing. And with reading, we did, like I had a lot of highlight books. So she did a lot of these. She would pick a passage out. When we first started, she would pick a passage out and fill out one of those reading sheets. So I have a whole bunch of those highlight books and just other little books that we had. And then also the main source of reading that she did was on Get Epic. And Can probably try to send a screenshot or something of that just so you can see how many books she's read throughout the entire year. I was trying to find a way to condense it, but it can only show me just how many books she's read. It doesn't show me of just the year or something like that. So it's okay, but that's where she did most of her reading. And of course, she did, like I said, she had other little books, that were here and things like that. We just got a whole bunch of other new books. But for the most part, the majority was on getepic.com. So with writing, so we did do some narrative writing. And we started off with simple things. And then some other narrative writings to make it more complex. And then she would use these narrative writings in her journal. So her journal entries began to become a lot larger because of being able to break it down first, next, then last, things like that. And understanding what a topic sentence was and an ending sentence and things like that. So we also did, this was a social studies and writing combo. I had her pick different holidays. Like I gave her a preview of all these different holidays. It was out of a really cool book that I had found that gave us different previews of different holidays. So I told her to pick, I think I told her to pick like 4 that she really liked. So then we went through each one and we compared and contrasted and we weaned it down after we did more research to her one favorite holiday. And so we did a lot of reading and comparing, contrasting charts for this opinion writing. This is one of her opinion writings. This was her when bringing it down to her favorite holiday being the Chinese New Year. So then I had her write a paper, an opinion piece of why the Chinese New Year was her favorite holiday out of all the holidays that she had been introduced to. And then we also did informative writing. I had her pick an animal that she was most interested in and basically do research on that. So we did a Venn diagram. And then she wrote her piece, her informative piece of what she learned about the cheetah. And she also did another one. Oh, I'm surprised that's attached to this. And she also did another one with the jaguar. Interesting. Okay. So that was her informative piece. So then we also did, let's see, consonants and things like that. So we had a lot of short A's, short E's, the whole spiel. also have a book, and we also, let me see, I think I had another one as well. But I don't think I have it with me. Okay, it must be in my actual portfolio. But of just her working with those, she would write down those blending words and things like that. So we also did ending punctuation. So she got her practice with that. Okay. We did noun, verbs, and adjectives. We have a few examples. Okay. That's not a part of it. And oh, here's her consonant blends. Yes. So her consonant blends that she would actually write, she did a whole bunch of them. So we went through everything, all these blending words. So let me bring that with this one. Okay, we did question words, exploring who, when, why, what, where, how. And then having her make up her own questions. And then we also, I might have it somewhere, but I would also have her, as she was reading, like later on in the year, I would have her pick 3 words while she was reading on Get Epic that she may have not known or understood, and I would just have her look up that definition, understanding if it, if it was a noun and what that meant, and then just writing down the definition. So I would have her pick 3 definitions, just 3 learning words, and she did a lot of that. So yeah. All right, so just some other books that we did with English, phonics, and reading. She did this at the beginning of the year because, it was something to do, practice her writing. Spelling, she also, we would do spelling test, and I actually I saved a lot of things on Google Drive this year. So hopefully I will be able to share that with you, so you'll be able to see the spelling bee that she had. But we did a lot of spelling. And then finishing up our sight words. She's already she's learned a lot, so. And I also have progress of her reading that I would videotape. So I would just, on the laptop, I would just pull up the book and she would just read it. And, so I have her progression from the beginning of the year to the ending of the year, basically. Okay, so that is that for English. Next, and put this over here. Okay, so next, math. Okay, so with math, we did a lot of things on CK12. So again, I did a lot of video screenings of her just going through the math, whatever she was doing that day, and just seeing her progress over time. So we did a lot of that. And then I would have her, just practice, I would make up some of my own practice sheets that she could use that she had learned for that day. So we did, let's see. Okay, so she did a lot of adding and subtracting. Oh, let me start off at the beginning first. We did have these books, just simple addition and subtraction. And she ran through those books. So we started getting a little bit more advanced. We did 3-digit numbers, which she did really well on. And then it went to the point where she was doing 2-digit numbers with regrouping and subtraction. So let me see if I have a subtraction example in here. I know I do, I just have to find it. my printer went kapunk on me in the middle of the school year, so I wasn't able to, we have to do a lot of things by hand, but it's okay. And some subtraction with regrouping. Okay, yep, so she did a lot of those. Okay, we did measurements as well. Just some things that we would just go around the house measuring. She measured lines, learning about inches, and also made a diagram. So she would, I picked items, oh, I have it upside down. I would pick items and, oh, this was a little bit different. So I just had her basically do like a scavenger, kind of like a scavenger hunt. I would pick items and she would put the numbers of them, however many she found, and then she would mark it on the diagram. Just practicing graphs. We do it. That's another thing that we did online. She had a lot of the graphs online. So we did, yep, we did graphs and measurements. Okay. And we also did shapes. We did 2D shapes and 3D shapes. I actually have a little container. Oh, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go get it. Okay, so I have a container of all the shapes that I made. 3D shapes that I made. 3D shapes, as well as 2D shapes. And then I would have her match them with the cards that I had written out. Yeah. So we practice those. As well as did some worksheets on it. Okay. Okay, and we also did time. This was her clock that she made. Actually, I think did I have it backwards? No, I don't think it's fine. Yeah, and she did it by fives around the clock. You know, understanding that these lines are 1. And I also have a book because she did money as well. So she did time and money. And at the end, she did really well, knowing her times as well as the money. So, and then periodically I would have assessments, you know, just basically going over the things that we've learned to see, you know, how she did. So that was that for math. Okay, okay, so for history, I have a globe. I have a little globe somewhere. It keeps bouncing away, but we would look at the globe. Let me see if I can find the globe. Oh, there it is. Okay, so our little globe that basically lists all the continents on it, the oceans, everything. So yeah, we use that, and we would go over, the planets, what our planet is, what our continent is, what our country is. Coloring our country. You see I have Pennsylvania marked so she knows where we are in the country. As well as some landforms. And then we did the state of Pennsylvania. So she learned about the state symbols, as well as just some keywords when it came to our state. Okay, and as with history, we learned about different historical figures. One, not the cats, but one was Misty Copeland, and she wrote a little paper about her. And then Mae Jemison. And then the presidents. Just some examples of what we did when it came to history. And I did a little bit of civics, but that was online. Hopefully I can get the Google Drive together and I can send you a link to it. I'm going to see how that works out. But yeah, so that's what we did for history. Next, we did science. I did find some Zoom class. A lot of it, like I said, a lot of it is on the Google Drive. I'm going to see if I can show you those videos of her doing different science experiments that we did throughout the year. And then she also took a science class on Zoom. So, just showing her interaction with other students, virtually, which was pretty cool experience for both of us. I believe I do have some type of actual science somewhere. Oh, this kind of falls into health a little bit, but we did do a little bit of science about different parts of the body. As well as the bones, different types of bones within the body. And then inside the organs inside the body. And this one she had to connect them onto the body. So that was some science that we did. Health and safety and fire safety, that's also something that we did online. There was a website that I found that we were able to incorporate that within our fire safety, within actually just safety in general. It was like if a tornado were to hit, what are some safety precautions you could take? So that was a pretty cool thing that I found online. So that's something that we did when it came to safety. And she also did a lot of cooking this year. Hopefully I can find some pictures of that, to where we were learning safeties when working around hot items. So that was something that we did. We also did health, of course, with cooking, allowing her to make her own food, me finding different little pamphlets and things that I've had, and just kind of learning more about our health and how to stay healthy. Okay, so with physical education, I got some stretching books for us, learning different poses and things that would help us to, stretch our bodies, keep our bodies healthy. We also incorporated Go Noodle, which was pretty cool. We just watched YouTube videos and do Go Noodle. And also, she also took a dance class on Zoom, which was pretty cool. That one didn't really last as long as the other classes, but it was still cool to be able to have that experience. And I also have some examples of that on the Google Drive. So she also did art, just little things at the beginning of the year. And I have bought this wonderful paint set that you can see we've gone through it. That's what most of the things on our wall of us just painting, her painting. I hope to, incorporate some canvases, very, very soon this year. But last year I gave her her own art journal. So, and she used it very well, like to the point where I have to get another one. But all her different drawings, I see some princesses and cats, and other fun stuff. Oh, some paintings. Yep, she definitely utilized this and she used it all. So I'm gonna have to get her some more because that's something that she loves. Okay, so, and we took another art class on Zoom, and that's also in the Google Drive if I can get that for you. We also did music, little stuff at the beginning of the year. That's another one we did. Did we do music? No, we didn't do music on Zoom, but I definitely introduced her to different instruments. Different instruments throughout the year that I had gotten. And one she wasn't familiar with. We had fun with this one. So those are some of the things that we did for music throughout the year. And last, I think I've already mentioned this, but we also did the book log. Oh, you know what else? This is something else she did for art. I had old clothes that I was getting rid of, and she was like, "Can I use that?" I'm like, "Sure." And I didn't realize that she was into this. So I have this huge box of all these different fabrics, things that old clothes of mine I don't even use anymore. And I help her out with that, of course. But I had gotten this for her. And of course, incorporating safety. This is a great safety, a great time to really show her how to be safe when using different needles and things like that. But she basically did. She didn't have to really use them, but she did make a lot of her own creations. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of clothes that we made together. If she couldn't sew it, then I would do it for her, of course, so she wouldn't hurt herself. But yeah, so that was something that was pretty cool that she kind of took it upon herself to do, which was really cool. So, oh yes, and so also the book log, like I said, everything that we read was on Get Epic. And so, like I said, we have a lot of books here, but not as many as what I had. So we definitely utilize Get Epic, and I continue to keep getting more books. So she'll be fine. So yes, that is an overview. I think I got everything. I hope I did. That's an overview of the 2021-2022 school year. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.